Hi, I'm Father Chris Alar of the Marian Fathers here at the National Shrine of the Divine Mercy, and it's an honor to have you with us on EWTN's Living Divine Mercy. Pope Leo XIV's first encyclical, Magnifica Humanitas, or Magnificent Humanity, focuses on protecting human dignity in the age of artificial intelligence. Leo XIV compares the AI revolution to the Industrial Revolution addressed by Leo XIII, a great pope, especially in his encyclical Rerum Novarum. In fact, the Pope states the reason he chose the name Leo was to honor the great Leo XIII for seeing humanity through that time of transition. This first encyclical of our Holy Father argues that the Church must once again defend the human person amid massive social change. So, what basically did the Pope have to say in this important document? In a nutshell, Pope Leo built his encyclical around the premise that there is a need for AI, or artificial intelligence, to remain under human moral control. Thus, the importance of ethics, law, and the common good guiding technological development is to be of primary importance. He stated a concern about AI replacing human workers, just like the fear that Leo XIII had as the Industrial Revolution was changing the American workplace forever. This technology also gives rise to the concentration of power being held in only a few corporations. So this encyclical also underscored the dangers of AI in warfare, jeopardizing human life, in misinformation, jeopardizing human ability to make informed decisions, and in manipulation, such as the ultra-dangerous control held by the CCP in China, using social credit scores as a weapon against innocent people. Pope Leo also stressed the importance of safeguarding children and fostering authentic human relationships, rather than succumbing to digital slavery as we so commonly see today, where so many people are enslaved to cell phones and social media. The Pope argues that technology must serve the human person, not reduce people to data, consumers, or even replace genuine human communication. All we have to do is look around at an airport or within a restaurant to see people aren't really even talking much in person anymore, but rather relying primarily on digital mediums. Now, one of his central themes is that humanity must disarm AI. Not meaning that we have to reject technology, but stressing the need to prevent it from becoming a force of domination, warfare, or dehumanization. This encyclical is a call to ensure that AI develops in a way that protects the sacredness of the human person, truth, freedom, work, and authentic human relationships rooted in God. Those need protection. Leo warns that information cannot be separated from living relationships, and AI does exactly that. Right now, we don't have a universal code of ethics, or anything for that matter, to manage AI, which is what the Holy Father is calling for. You know, in the Bible, it is the heart of the person that is the place of freedom and decision-making. But with AI, such wisdom can't be sought from machines. It is not enough to be able to store data like machines do, because this data must be made sense of, and human beings alone are capable of this. We cannot allow algorithms to exclude compassion, mercy, forgiveness, and hope in our daily lives. So what I took from the Holy Father's words is for us to pray that robotics and AI remain always at the service of human beings, not vice versa. So we all hear about artificial intelligence, but do we really understand all it entails? AI is the ability of machines to only mimic the performance of humans in performing intellectual tasks. It's only a simulation of human intelligence in machines, programmed to learn and make decisions. There are many forms of AI, but most of them are very limited, surprisingly. Yes, AI systems can process data, recognize patterns, and perform tasks like us, but that doesn't mean that they can be fully compared to the human person. Souls are associated with living organisms, but robots and computers are not alive, so they will never have souls. Interestingly, the Catholic Church teaches us that all living things have souls. Yes, even plants and animals. Plants have vegetative souls, animals have sensitive souls, but only human beings have rational, immortal souls called the spirit or spirits. St. Thomas Aquinas summarized it well by saying the vegetative soul in a plant lives, the sensitive soul in an animal lives and senses, and the rational soul in a human lives, senses, and understands. A computer can do none of that. AI is not alive, and since it only functions to serve human needs, it should not be regarded as equivalent to human beings. AI lacks free will, moral understanding, and a relationship with God. This is what defines true intelligence. Artificial intelligence is just software. Therefore, the name AI is really a misnomer. It is nothing but an artificial imitation of only some of the appearances of intelligence. It is actually several degrees removed from real intelligence. However, we need to keep in mind that there are many positive aspects of AI in its ability to help advance human development. Areas such as healthcare, education, business, the environment, security, science, agriculture. These are just a few of the things that can benefit greatly from advances in AI technology. The ability of AI to draw on and then distribute even Catholic knowledge in new ways is another huge benefit of this tool. Platforms such as Magisterium AI, Vulgate AI, and Magis AI from Father Robert Spitzer right here on EWTN, a great priest. These are incredible tools to advance our knowledge of the faith. And on the flip side, however, are many risks: job displacement, income inequality for those who have the technology, privacy invasion and surveillance, with such things as China's social credit score, as we mentioned, are but a few of the examples that we have to be wary of. Even more serious problems exist when AI promotes euthanasia, abortion, genetic manipulation, or causes social problems. Recall the 14-year-old boy in Florida who developed an unhealthy attachment to his chatbot girlfriend and then killed himself. Stories such as these are truly tragic, and many happen because we fail to recognize that AI systems can't understand and share our emotions because they are not sentient persons. They are only robots. They may sometimes appear human and mimic human emotions, but they lack an inner conscious life, and we have to always bear that in mind. With AI now doing things such as producing babies and writing new Bibles, it seems like another enlightenment where man believes that he can usurp the power of God. In fact, Dan Brown of Da Vinci Code infamy insisted, quote, "Humanity no longer needs God, but may, with the help of AI, develop a new form of collective consciousness that fulfills the role of religion. Technological change and the development of AI would transform the concept of the divine. Our need for that exterior God that sits up there and judges us will diminish and eventually disappear," end quote. No, Dan Brown, that is not correct and never will be. We need to realize if we create that void, a world lacking God, or I should say pushing out God, we open portals for dangerous spirits. Catholic priest exorcist, a seminarian classmate of mine, Father Dan Rehill, in a 2023 interview noted multiple cases of people using AI chatbots that clearly open the doorway to demonic interference. Some believe the lie that AI has become a person, but this can never happen. If it displays personhood characteristics, this is only because a real person is directly behind it, causing it to do so. A demon, however, is a person. It is a being with intelligence and will. So we should not be surprised if the demons have saved their greatest ever assault upon the world precisely for these times in which the fewest people believe in their existence. So let us learn from church teaching on this matter by once again going back to the preeminent importance of the human person, something greater than any machine. Perhaps that's the reason the Holy Father doesn't say that we can't use artificial intelligence. He just says to be careful. Now, in keeping with the topic of AI, one Catholic school is leading the way by embracing this technology with a firm focus on the human soul. At Our Lady of Perpetual Help School in Glendale, Arizona, students aren't just learning to code. They are learning how to use AI to uphold human dignity and promote the faith. Let's take a look at this perfectly fit story and how this program is preparing the next generation to be both tech-savvy and Christ-centered.
Let's be honest, it's a technology that is not going away. Either you embrace it or you reject it. Sooner or later, you will face it. In the future, new things are going to be coming. So it's good for us to help kids understanding and reasoning in that critical thinking with Catholic values in the right way in what they will face in the future.
In Glendale sits a Catholic school that is breaking barriers by
a place where artificial intelligence. Bottom line, AI is here to stay, and these kids at Our Lady of Perpetual Help are learning it and loving it.
OLPH is a very special school because we have the sense of community. I started as a principal last year, and one of the first things that our pastor, Father Ernesto, said was, this is my vision for the school, this is my mission. We want the students to be exposed to all this technology advancements because it's only growing. You know, technology, AI is not going away. It's changing and it's evolving.
The project began in 2019. And we began to create this program, which is called the STREAM, which basically is like a STEM with art and religion.
One thing that I had the great opportunity to do this year was to help to write an AI curriculum. So our pastor, Father Ernesto, he purchased 3 different robots over the course of the last 2 years. And so with that, we definitely wanted to think about how we can help our students engage with those robots and how to use them to enhance the Catholic foundation of our school community.
We're going to watch Ben move and just analyze him. And as you're watching him, I want you to think about some characteristics that Ben has versus what you have.
We have Ben, our humanoid robot, who might look like a human. He has arms, he has legs, he walks, he talks. But the students then are less than focuses on Genesis and the creation.
You're watching Ben, is this something that you can do, only he could do?
My view on AI has changed a bit since my kids have been incorporating it here at OLPH.
Definitely going into those elements of how to use it morally and how to use it justly in order to promote Catholic teaching instead of to detract from it and to lead you down the wrong path.
Here we have the humanoid. Robots don't have souls. Walk slower, slow, controlled. We have hearts. Does Ben have a heart? No? Do you think Ben cares about you?
The first lesson of our curriculum really grounds the lessons in differentiating between humans and robots and thinking about humans having souls and emotions and being able to put creativity into work, and robots sort of being not that, but being a tool that can enhance that.
We want to guide them instead of just telling them. So I just think that if they know now how to use it to their benefit and how to implement it correctly, then they'll be more wise when it does come to more AI's developments.
For me and my team, it's important for us to tell the kids to love God first, because loving God first, then everything that comes after that, then is secondary.
The value that we're trying to acquire is for these lessons to really have an impact in their lives and something that they can take with them. This is going to be something that hopefully they will remember when they're in high school, when they're at the university level.
I think I'd be prepared for the future. My teacher's teaching me a lot about AI, and I've heard how the 8th grade teachers are like kind of implementing that on their students so they know how to use it for the correct benefits.
I'm just amazed at how the school has developed. I came here when I was in kindergarten. It's just completely changed. And I feel like this was a perfect year for me to be at this school to experience that.
I love the way that OLPH has decided to approach AI and technology, and it's really leading with character building, with ethics, with faith. I 100% am confident in my children's ethics and ability to use AI and technology in the right way.
Today we are celebrating our second annual Stream Night, which is an event that showcases the different activities our students have been working on in the areas of science, technology, religion, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
Tonight is a special opportunity for our students and families to explore, create, and discover together.
I gotta lead it with a light?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Stream Night is connecting the curriculum of what we're teaching in the children in classrooms along with their faith.
The Stream Night tonight that we have going on, it's a great opportunity for all the students to get involved in all the different subject areas.
Glad you're doing the turtle.
The kids here are amazing. They're very kind and loving and faith-filled, which I've been just in awe of.
I'm just so impressed with the willingness of students here to engage responsibly with AI. Like, they're really willing to sit and grapple with the tough questions of like, okay, here's this tool, like, how is it best that I use it? And I'm just really impressed with the maturity of the students that I've seen, and their willingness to be responsible and to use AI to uphold their dignity and the dignity of their own work.
We're definitely hoping to set this precedence, and hopefully other schools will follow, because it has been, like I said, an amazing experience, not only for the students, but also the parents, the families, the whole entire community who have come in to join.
We would like to invite any person that would like to know about our project to come and visit us, because it's so beautiful. As we teach our children to be generous, we're also generous to the persons who contact us. We like to share what we have, and we share it for free, because we want to help Catholic schools to get away from the fear of AI and to start really going into what the world is growing. The whole program is about my children here, because they are the ones who are gonna help this world in the better way. They're the ones who are gonna bring their Catholic faith into the daily challenges that they will face. They are already working on this project, and they are already working in knowing more about this new technology, and we believe that they can be the next generation who really understand who we are as human beings in relation to God, and how to provide solutions to the challenges that we have. That's the reason we're doing all these things, because we love them and we want to provide something to society in this emerging technology.
Well, thank you to everyone at Our Lady of Perpetual Help School. What an amazing way to use technology for the good of God and guiding students to use new technology responsibly. While technology is powerful, we have to remember that only God has the strength to carry the burdens that weigh us down. Only He can fulfill the deepest longing of the human heart. So let's go now to Scripture as we hear about this in the Gospel of Matthew.
At that time, Jesus declared, I thank you, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, that you have hidden these things from the wise and understanding and revealed them to infants. Yes, Father, for such was your gracious will. All things have been delivered to me by my Father, and no one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and anyone to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls, for my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. At times, following the way of Christ can seem almost impossible. Loving our enemies or accepting persecution rather than moral compromise is certainly impossible apart from the help of divine grace. Here Jesus promises that taking upon our shoulders the yoke of his teachings will actually be easy and light for us, compared with trying to do things our own way. Choosing our own way only enslaves us to the false values of the world, the disordered desires of the flesh and the temptations of the devil. By contrast, Christ himself will walk with us if we choose his way. He will help us bear his yoke and will mercifully grant us the rest and refreshment of heart we need to persevere. In the Blessed Sacrament, above all, we can find grace, comfort, and intimacy with Jesus to live as his true disciples. As St. Faustina writes, I find myself so weak that, were it not for Holy Communion, I would fall continually. Jesus concealed in the host is everything to me. From the tabernacle I draw strength, power, courage, and light.
This is the situation of our current times. Unfortunately, there are many universities and colleges that claim to be Catholic and they have it in their name, but they're not very Catholic. That's very unfortunate. It doesn't make me happy to say that as a priest, but it is true. Some of the ones that I would recommend would be Franciscan University of Steubenville, Ohio. I'm kind of particular to that one because I myself graduated from there, but it's a very faithful Catholic university. You've got Wyoming Catholic College, John Paul the Great in San Diego. You have Ave Maria down in Florida, and there's a handful of other ones, but there's not that many. A good way to find out about the ones that are faithful is in a guide called the Newman Guide. Now, you can obtain that very easily. You can do a Google search and find how to obtain one of those. And in there, they actually have a very thorough presentation with checklists of faithfulness and teaching staff and all of these issues that you can look into in a deeper way. So get a copy of that Newman Guide, and there you will find the faithful Catholic colleges and universities. God bless you.
My spirit is with God, and my interior being is filled with God, so I do not look for him outside myself. When I was enclosed in my mother's womb, I was not so closely united with her as I am with my God. There, it was an unawareness, but here it is the fullness of reality and the consciousness of union. Oh, how beautiful is the world of the Spirit, and so real that, by comparison, the exterior life is just a vain illusion and powerlessness.
Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us this week as we discuss Pope Leo's new encyclical and what the Church has to say about AI, artificial intelligence. Even in a rapidly changing world, technology must always serve the dignity of the human person and lead us closer to God. And please be sure to join us next week when we'll talk more about the Assumption of Mary in a new episode and what this beautiful Marian dogma means for our faith and our hope in eternal life. So until then, may Almighty God bless you, the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Amen.